I know the pandas,
Mm.
like specifically, were the ones that got just ran into the ground. Like at some
Hooked.
point, just everybody had a pair, and where you don't really see dunks as much anymore. You know, like I think some people, you'll still see them rock their pair from a few years back, but nobody's out there going and buying dunks. You know what I
I
mean? So
would, except for two things. The quality is absolute dog water, and two, they are so uncomfortable for like walking around, which albeit it's a skate shoe, it's not a lifestyle walking shoe. But in this day and age, and when it was at the peak of the trend, like, bro, your design team, like, you got to make a better insole. You got to change the midsole somehow, some way, and make it so it can better fit what people are actually using the shoe for. So yeah, I think the Dunk though has that potential of an Air Force One, of a Samba. Like, it's not that complex of a shoe. It can give that timeless look, I think.
No,
Dre, you disagree.
I
You
disagree.
disagree.
I'm the
I'm talking about the
biggest.
lows, by the way, not the highs.
Yeah, the lows. I am the
Okay.
biggest Dunk hater, bro. They're not actually like
Wow.
I have nothing like genuinely against them, but to me, like I never understood the appeal outside of the skate community. Like when Nike brought them back a few years ago to really start pumping them out, I was like, and I know people had Air Force One fatigue, so I was like, okay, let's go for a silhouette that's a kind of a riff and it's different and it's a little more fresh in the moment. But if you really look, if you want to say, let's put these three next to each other, and maybe this is a whole other conversation. We can go and rank like the recent trends. But if you want to put Air Jordan 1, Air Force One, Dunks next to each other, because those are all relatively similar silhouettes. Obviously, they're a little different in the size, the shaping, and stuff. But all like the basic, if you were to describe them without someone who's never seen them, they're kind of similar. The silhouettes. Dunk is so far behind the other two, it's not even funny. Like if I were to choose out of those three, there's no way in hell I'm choosing those Dunks, which look like the freaking Wario version to Mario that the Air Force One is. Like Air Force One is one of the most timeless silhouettes I've ever seen in my life. It's one of the greatest sneakers ever made. A Dunk is literally like, how do I describe it? It's like, I don't know if y'all ever seen Everybody Hates Chris, but it's like the versions of brands that Julius wanted them to buy.
Cookie?
Cookie, yes, Cookie.
Literally, that was never like the real brand that you wanted them to get. To me, that's what I see when I see Dunk. It's like if you ask like someone who had never seen an Air Force One to draw an Air Force One, like it's like people's first attempt at drawing an Air Force One is a Dunk, and it's people who can't draw, and then the actual artist comes through and draws the Air Force One. Y'all can come in rebuttal, but it's facts, bro. It's facts.
That's insane.
I can't fully disagree with you. I will just say, for my personal life, I didn't have a pair of Air Force Ones till way later. What I did have in middle school was a pair of, they weren't Dunks, but they were Nike's Fugazi cheap version, which they have at the outlets, you know? So with that in mind, I always leaned a bit more towards the Dunk silhouette. So I can speak for myself there, but
yeah, I think
everything you said, I can also agree with partially.
Yeah, I think the Dunks are just too iconic to put them on that level. And this is not to say, like, I was also tired of the trend. I think this is probably just recency bias because they're a shoe that got oversaturated by by everybody. You had everybody. I think it's. I think the way to measure if a sneaker is played out, it's by telling like, okay, like who do we see wearing it, and because I think there's just people who just want to wear, like who just want to get by, and like that's not like a jab at them, but like there's people who just don't. I think I'm at a place where I appreciate different sneaker silhouettes, and so if I'm purchasing something, if I'm wearing something, it's because I have some type of affinity for what I'm wearing. I think when you get to a place where the people that are wearing a specific type of footwear, for example, don't really care and just want to wear like, okay, like this is something that I see a lot, I think it looks all right, let me wear this. Like, I think when it gets to that point, I think you can tell that a sneaker is getting played out. But we can't act like the Dunks are not an iconic silhouette, right? Like, I think about there's just so many iconic models. You had like the Pigeons, you had like the Freddy Cougars, the
No, no,
Tiffany Dunks. Like, there's just so, and this is like early mid 2000s, you know. So this isn't
Nah,
in
Dre, you
line.
can't deny this. You can't deny this. Don't wag the
No,
finger.
no,
It
no,
has
no.
a history. It has
Yeah,
a
like,
history.
it definitely has a history, and yes, you're going back to the peak era of dunks, and I respect that. But you're getting excited about the colorways, and there are amazing dunk colorways. Arguably, between the three, the dunk has the most creative colorways of the three that I propped up. But I'm talking about the silhouette, and I'm saying the dunk silhouette is broke man's. And if you for the rest of your life had to pick one silhouette that was all white between the three of them, you're
Oh,
not
all
wearing-
white?
I'm just saying because that's how you get the purest form of the silhouette. Or all
You
black.
know what? That's a good way to phrase it. That's a good way to
You're
phrase
not
it. If it
going
was
dunk.
all
I
white.
promise you, you're
Yeah.
not going dunk. If you had
I'm
to
not.
pick between the three, you're not going dunk. The silhouette isn't that good. Like the colorways have helped prop it up, but I'm talking about Air Force One is a goated silhouette. It's pure. It's damn near perfect. Honestly, the Jordan one.
You wear it once. You wear it once and it's done, pretty
No.
much.
You wear it.
No.
You wear it once. Air Force
People
One.
who do that, bro, that's wrong, bro. You gotta wear those into the ground
No.
like the white girls, man. Like,
I'm not saying. I'm
and
not
then
saying.
give them a clean,
Oh.
and then you go again.
I'm not saying I would only wear an Air Force One once, but I'm saying that the Air Force One, I would say, ages the worst out of all of them. I would
Let's go
say.
all black then. Let's go all black.
I'm still not going. I'm still not going Air Force Ones.
You're on crack. You're on crack. You're on crack.
I take the dunk after that because I think, and I like Air Force Ones. I respect the Air Force Ones. I would love if I had the money, if I had the means, man. The Off Whites or the CPFMs. I think those are iconic. I think those are very recent pairs that look very grab my attention. But like, I'm also I just want to go back to dunks for just a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, we got, and I know I get it. Yes, if it's all white and you would rather, I can see why there's not an appreciation for the shape of the sneaker. But I will also say maybe I'm also biased because I had a skating phase. Like, I myself didn't skate, but I was into skate fashion when I was in middle school. Like, I was rocking like Zoo York, I was rocking like Element, I was rocking those
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
man. I miss those days, I'm not gonna lie. But I have an appreciation for the dunk because they were so tied to the skate culture, and I understand why people can say that they look like an ugly shoe with the fat tongue and the low top, and it just looks a little bit like bulky, but not necessarily like it can just look a little weird, maybe like DC sneaker kind of vibes. So I understand why you would say that the silhouette isn't nice, but I think when you combine just how, for me, like the nostalgia, in addition to the fact that they're an iconic sneaker, and then you add on to the fact that we saw some pretty iconic pairs during the last run, like during this like recent rise, during this recent boom, we had like the Cactus Jack Dunks,
Which
Ben
one?
and Jerry's. Oh, the ones with the bandana.
Bro, Ben
Like,
and Jerry's is so long ago at this point. That's not part of the recent run.
that was part. Yes, it was during the pandemic. It was within the last 5 years. But the
looking this
Ben
up.
and Jerry's, the Ben and Jerry's were the Ben and Jerry's were iconic, man.
Oh,
What
they're
else did-
iconic. But
I'll give you even.
We're wearing
even
that.
more-
I'm never wearing that. Let's be real.
No, but they're
Those
iconic.
shoes-
But they're iconic.
Bro, if
They're
I want Ben
iconic,
and
they're
Jerry's, I will
iconic.
go buy Ben and Jerry's, bro. Who's putting that
no.
on their feed?
We're not doing that. We're not
literally
doing that. We're not
5
doing
years
that.
ago, 2020.
We're not doing that.
Okay,
I'll give
I'm
you
the
a
dunk
recent
hater.
one.
No, hold up. I'm the
I'll
dunk
give you a
hater.
recent one. I'll give you a recent one, and
Yeah.
I will. Ooh, almost knocked over my mic just doing that. I'll give you a recent one, and I will say I am biased. I am 100% biased. But the Jarritos Dunks, that is an iconic.
As soon as you
Mexican
rolled your
soda.
R, I knew it was over, bro.
Yeah.
I knew it was over.
That's an iconic Mexican soda. They had a crazy cool drop with Nike. I was a fan of that drop as well. And even what I will say about that drop too, like I was explaining that to like people in my family and just trying to show them like, yo, this is really cool. Like I want y'all to see. Like even people who weren't into sneakers and like they were like, nah, they were like, oh, that's pretty solid. Like that's pretty cool. So I don't know.
At the same time,
I think I just named enough pairs.
You get some beauties like that, but then you get what I just saw literally this past week. The Lego Nike Dunks coming out that are the most dog water pair for collaboration. Like if you think Lego Dunk, you think, okay, maybe like they implement the brick somehow, you know, the studs, the cool colors. And here you got this black and white shoe that looks like it's straight out of a cartoon panel.
That's the Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dunks, man.
The Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dunks. The Joshua Vitas Dunks, who, mind you, he has collaborated with Nike before, and they just kind of ripped his whole style for this shoe. So, you know, I like the Dunk. I like the colors. I think it went overkill with the trend. I think it went overkill with the fact that it was pandas people obsessed with. Like, just, there's so many cool colors, so many cool options. Why are we obsessing about pandas? But they've definitely, I think their real classics are in the vault, like from way back. I'm blanking on the name. I have to find the colorway of the one I want to mention, but yeah, that's.
I look at those Lego Dunks and oh my goodness, if you've ever wanted to, like, I didn't even know these existed, which is so funny based on the argument I was just making. This Lego Dunk is the perfect example of what I was just talking about. This perfectly like highlights and outlines this silhouette, and it looks terrible, bro. Imagine this might work with an Air Force One because the silhouette is just that cold, bro. The Dunk, the silhouette can't hold up to a poor colorway. It literally can't. And maybe you say, oh, there shouldn't be any poor colorways, but there are some sneakers that just through the strength of the silhouette, you can get by with some iffy colorways. This is not one of them.
Yeah. I think the Air Force One here's how I'll label it. I think if we're going like all one color or mostly one color, Air Force One wins every day. But as soon as you get to like 2 to 3 colors that are balanced throughout the shoe, I think the Dunk wins that every time. You cannot have a solid color Dunk. You cannot. But it's the pairing of the silhouette with the colorway options they can have is what makes it special.